Sometimes it might rain, sometimes it might snow. Sometimes you might cry, be sad, you know. What that's shades of a man, baby. Shades of a man. Shades of a man. Sometimes you might stop, sometimes you might go. You might make mistakes, but that's just how you grow. Shades of a man, baby. Shades of a man. Shades of a man.
It's your host, Joaquin Hauser, and we're here for another amazing episode of the Shades of a Man podcast. Today is a conversation about accountability. It's about the courage it takes to admit your own flaws and the pain that comes with toxic love. My cousin, I'm only going to call him Chosen once. I'll tell you why later. Is here to speak his truth. And together, we're going to walk through what happens when love becomes a war and how men find a way to heal if they do. What's up, cuz?
Wow, what up, Why? It's good.
I'm doing good, man.
Hold on, what that mean? And you kind of breaking up a little bit. Like you kind of like
I'm breaking up?
I can hear you, but like your video is like breaking up.
Oh, the video part? Yeah, I don't, the technology, sometimes you might got a cheap computer. I don't know. What you got over there? You got some 1992 IBM computer?
Nah, I got an Apple computer.
Oh, you got an Apple? Oh, shoot. So,
What up, sucker?
What up? Hey, we're on a live podcast, man. Don't make me edit you out messing up the podcast.
Oh, I ain't know y'all was doing live joint. What's up, everybody? Peace and love.
How you doing?
Chilling.
That's good. You look good, man.
Huh?
You look good.
Trying to.
You look fresh. Like you got a fresh cut.
Yeah, the barber right here be getting busy.
I look like a true yard boy. Yada yaddies, and I look like the yard boy.
You like one of Bob Marley's sons. What's going on?
Hey, don't let that fool you.
Yo, man. Man. I need to get up on here with y'all one day.
Oh, definitely. We talk deep here. All right, so that's Chosen. That's my cousin. I ain't gonna just to be known. I'm gonna let you know, cause only here. Like if we out in the street, like we at the mall, I ain't gonna be calling you no Chosen. That look funny. Like your big cousin calling you by your little stage name. That's just.
It's all good. You know me
just how I feel. Yeah, I feel you. All right, so everything good? You had a good day?
Oh, yeah, my day was smooth.
That's good. All right, so what we're gonna get into now is we're gonna jump right into this podcast, right?
Let's do it.
And I call this show is gonna be called Demonic Love. And demonic love is like, or demonic Cupid. It's like, when I was growing up, like Cupid was the magic, right? Like you wanted Cupid, like Cupid was gonna find the way to your heart and it was gonna be amazing. And I believed in all this love and romance stuff. And then I started to get in relationships and that changed quickly. So I'm gonna rock this poem out and then we're gonna set the stage for the rest of this show. As y'all all know, I don't memorize none of my poems, only did 2 in my entire life. And so I'm gonna read this one right here. Demonic Cupid. Her contact was felt with friction. Sandpaper rubbing my chest. Scraping off my dead skin. Grinding on my rib cage. The debris falling like the collapse of 9/11. Making my foundation weak. So I fall. She's sly. Every movement is art, vivid in detail, captivating spectators, burning torch, Olympic summer, throwing javelins through my heart, slicing my legs and arms, decapitating my head, whole man cut up, wrapping me in plastic and freezing me, then thawing me, using tree branches and 2x4s to hang me, shish kebabs, dangling from the fire, rotisserie, fully seasoning my mental, making me submissive to her desires, claiming her honesty with mystery. For I was a delicacy, chewed up and swallowed, washed down with Grey Goose, digested and dropped in the toilet, flushed away, treated me like what I feel like, treated me like what I feel like. Shit.
Woo.
So, right there, that's demonic Cupid. Now, first words when you hear that, what do you hear when you hear demonic Cupid?
It's something in there, man. It's toxic love. That's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah, toxic love in a metaphorical way, because I didn't want to break down the details. Like, I never really wanted to break down the full details of a relationship, But through this writing, it was a form of healing in its own way, because I can get out that frustration of what it felt like to be in that relationship. And I wrote that about 15 years ago. I don't know which girlfriend that was written about, but I'm glad I don't know or remember, because it didn't sound like a good thing. All right, so now we're gonna jump right into what we got in store from here. Little background on Chosen. Now I'm gonna let him introduce himself.
Hey, what's up, y'all?
My name is Chosen. Who is Chosen, and what do you do? And why do you think I invited you on this podcast tonight?
I go by Chosen. How y'all doing? I feel like you invited me on here because I've been making real changes in my life. Deciding to lead with love, peace, and positivity. Learning from my past experiences and having the willingness to grow and navigate throughout my life and get on the right path. I aspire to be a king. I want to have a family. I want to have a wife, and I want to have children as well. And I'm 23, so I'm not super young, but I'm young, and I feel like I'm ahead of my time, and that's what I want to do in my life. I'm saying that's why I aspire to be king.
King. And what does a king represent to you?
So a king makes sure things are in order. A king represents strength. King leads with like I said, with love and respect. To have self-love and to have self-respect, knowledge of self. That's what a king is.
True. And so I like that opening of talking about a king. Like, a king needs a queen, right? And in the role of a queen. So a king doesn't need another king. And I don't say a king doesn't need a king in like in a sexual manner, like two men. I don't mean that. I mean that because mentally, if you have a woman that wants to be the king and you have a man that wants to be the king, then you're always gonna bump heads. And that goes with any type of existence. Example, and because you've been at my house. I got chickens. And at one time I had more than one rooster in the pen with a small amount of chickens. Right. And so there was conflicts all the time, because that you can't have two roosters, because the roosters are the king in that chicken field. You can't have two roosters because they're gonna fight all the time, right? Because they're gonna bump heads because they want the same thing, right? And so, like, I like that role of a king. And then so if a king does all those things, what does a queen, like, how does a queen be there and help a king? What does that look like to you, young man?
I'm still learning. But from what I've been learning, queen makes sure that her king remains focused. Make sure that his heart is protected, his family is protected. A queen makes sure that his king and his children are loved and nurtured. Stuff like that. Come home, I'm able to put my shield down. You know what I'm saying? From all the malice in the world, all the chaos in the world, I come home and I'm at peace. And I feel like a queen creates that.
I like that. All right, so we're gonna dive into like the music and the social media platform and how that's been changing. So I don't know if you remember, a long time ago, you write music, and I always liked your stuff. It's very creative, and you're a good artist. I said, I don't like your content. I said it's too vulgar. too much swears, you talking about nonsense, and like, you know, that I don't believe that's how you want to live. And I think at the time you looked at me like I had 15 heads. Like, what's this cornball talking about?
Nah, yeah.
So wait, yeah. So, okay, let's back up. We're gonna let the people laugh for a second. All right. So this is my little cuz. We didn't meet as like he don't remember me from when he was a little kid, right? And then we didn't see each other for years, right? So then we had a family reunion. His father said, "Yeah, you're gonna go with your cousin, up to Connecticut, you know, and chill with him, right?" So I meet him for the first time. Now, I know the film, but tell the audience what you thought of me when you first met me. Like before you got to know me.
I asked my dad, I said, who are you sending me up here with? This dude wearing his socks to his knees. I'm like, who is this dude? I'm like, yo, he's a weirdo. But when I met you, I didn't feel like that at all, man. It wasn't like that. So from that time, I understood like perception is bad. Get to know somebody. Don't judge a book by its cover.
Right. Don't let your eyes determine who somebody is. Don't let your eyes determine who somebody is. Keep that in mind, young people. Moving forward, I talked to you about that music, right? And I just think that I did a lot of music, and as well as a lot of people in our family, and I made a lot of songs when I was your age and older that would just don't represent who I am right now. And so I didn't want you to create music, and then you look back on it and you'd be like, oh man, like I don't want my kids to hear this. I don't want people thinking that this is what I was doing. And so I said that to you. And then talk about the transition from making that type of content that is don't get me wrong, is good music, like for music heads, right? But the content, like what shifted that content? Like what was the pivotal point in the content shifting from like being a king to like just creating like how could I don't even know some grimy stuff.
Right. So man, it took a while for me to find myself, and to find some purpose in my music. So once I went through the situation with my ex, that right there changed everything. I felt like I found some purpose. I started making content, and saying that I want to respect women because of the stuff that I had went through with her. I had got out of character and I was very disrespectful to her, and I felt like I lost myself. And once after that, I had some self reflection. And I came to a realization that I don't want to be that type of person. So that's what created the shift right there. So just for me, respecting women and stuff like that, I found some purpose in my music.
Yeah, and I like what I'm seeing of you. I'm like in what I'm hearing. And those that don't know, because I should have introduced him that way. The music that you heard in the beginning, that's him. That's the artist that created that music. And I could tell you the story. One day I said, yo, I'm doing a podcast. I want you to create a song for me. What kind of song? I said, Shades of a Man. But what's that look like? I said, yo, just all the elements of what men go through. And as you could tell, the track is fire. And that's the artist that put that together. I should have did that at the beginning. But we here now. Like you can't go back in time and fix what you didn't do, but you can always do it at that point, right? You can't go back. So you can't go back and fix that toxic relationship you had, but you can move forward in a different manner. And that's what I see you trying to do. And if you fall again, right, remember that you can still change.
Right.
So tell us a little bit about like your perception of love as you were entering this relationship, your perception of love when during the relationship, and your perception of love as the relationship was coming to a close.
Man, in the beginning, man, I was bombarded with a whole bunch of what you call it, love bombing. That's what it. I feel like that's what it was in the beginning, but I wasn't receiving that from other girls that I was with. So, being around her and she telling me she loved me, it seemed so genuine. It felt homely. I felt at home with that person. I was able to be around her anytime I wanted. I enjoyed her company. She enjoyed my company. So how I seen the love, it was there. It was felt. I felt it. You know what I'm saying? I feel like love is a feeling thing, and I felt it. Then certain things occurred, and you know, from her being dishonest with me, I felt that it wasn't love anymore. I felt that I was filling a void. And then after I went from love to I don't know to hate. It got bad, man.
So when I'm gonna set the tone for bad, like so, and it hurt me. I was disappointed, right, in you. When we had the deep conversation we had about like how your relationship was going, but I also felt that you had made a courageous step in your honesty about your role in the situation. When I was in my first abusive relationship, like, I was a little bit older than you. It took me a long time to actually like admit that I put my hands on a woman because it was embarrassing. Like I didn't want people to know that's what I did, you know. So I tried to justify it and make it seem like I was about to die, and that's why I had to do what I did, right? And it took me a long time to really say this is what I did, despite whatever she did. This is what I did, and you came out to me and you was like, "Yo, this is what I did," and to me that was powerful because you took accountability, and you can't move forward until you take accountability. So when you did that, although I was disappointed as your big cousin, right? I couldn't judge you because I've been there, right? And judging you is not going to fix you. But at the same time, I was like, oh, he's going to take this as a learning experience because he's able to say, I did this, and now I got to live with this, and I got to move forward.
Right.
So how did like initially when like the first time you had like a bad episode where you like did something that you know wasn't right, like to a woman, like disrespectful? What's that emotion like afterwards? Like, how did you feel about yourself, about her? Like, what does it feel like?
Um, in a moment, you just want to tear a person out. But I verbally obliterated that girl. In a moment, it just feels like certain things just needed to be said. But then after, you sit down and you think about it like, dang, because at the end of the day, I have a heart. I'm saying I don't want to speak to nobody like that or hurt nobody's feelings. But yeah, you freezing up, why?
That's okay. Keep going. We'll fix that on the edit.
But yeah, wait, what?
Just keep going. You were talking about like how you felt like after like you obliterated her verbally.
So wait, what's the question again? So I can get back on track because it kind of threw me off that you froze.
Yeah, like how did you feel after you did something that was very disrespectful to the person you were in a relationship with?
Oh yeah, after I'm apologizing. See, anytime I disrespect her or something like that, I would break up with her. I done broke up with her about 16 times, man. But then I would go back and apologize. You know what I'm saying? But I always asked her, I always said to her, like, anytime I get a certain way, it was a response to something that she did. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I'm apologizing for something that she caused. So it was just always mind boggling. Like honestly. Yeah. But I can't
So
blame her for my
it's
actions,
like
words.
in those. I don't know if both of us breaking up. It's just me because you breaking up now.
I'm breaking up.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
You was. I think you good now though.
I'm good now.
Okay. Yeah, sometimes we dealing with technology, so technology will do this in and out thing on you.
All right, hold on. How about now?
Like right now, you getting blurry on me, going in and out.
All right, what about now?
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you.
It should be good now.
Yeah. All right. So when the relationship ended or was coming to an end, like how did you feel about yourself? How did you feel about her?
Man, I felt like I wasn't present as the days went. Like, I wasn't present. I didn't feel like it didn't feel real. I felt like a movie. Felt like a movie. So many emotions, so many feelings. I told myself that I can't ever talk to that girl no more. Um, and that hurt me. Because I did love her, cared about her, and having to let go was difficult for me. You know what I'm saying, but it had to be done.
And so my very first love. So would you consider that your first love?
That was my first like real relationship. I wouldn't say I'm like my first love because I loved somebody before and they broke my heart, but like my first like real relationship.
So I want you to think about prior to this relationship. What did you think and what were you taught? Like from you don't have to give no names about who taught you anything, but what did you think a relationship was about?
I would go around telling everybody I will never be in a relationship ever. 'Cause I got my heart broke from a girl. So I'm like, I never even thought I would ever be in a relationship. That was a done deal. I ain't want to be with nobody. Um, but then I would like go back and forth with myself. I didn't want to be with nobody, but then I wanted to see what it was like to be with somebody and what it was like to feel love. But I was always scared. I was always fearful. So my outlook on relationships was very negative. I had a negative outlook on relationships because I'm seeing everybody cheating on each other. You know, people even killing each other. Them killing their partner. You know what I'm saying? Because they so hurt. I was scared. I ain't want to get in a relationship. I had a negative outlook on relationships.
A negative mind and never get you a positive life. So, when you go into a situation thinking the worst, most likely no matter what you do is going to be the worst because your mindset is already set. Um, I can share my first love was very interesting because I actually loved the person. Like I grew to love the person. It was I started liking someone in like 8th grade, and like I would hang with her brothers to try to be close to her, right? And eventually, like in 10th grade, she started helping me with Spanish, and we just started talking all the time, like talk 3, 4, 5 hours a day. But that was it. Like it was dope, and I want to say I put a good 3 years in. See, and what I didn't know, right? Everyone in my circle, all the adults, all the men, all the people that I looked up to, you know, that I asked because I didn't ask everybody. Like I didn't ask the people I should have asked, like my grandfather, like maybe like a teacher I respected at the time, maybe somebody at the boys club that I respected like a man. They would always say, "Oh, basically a woman, basically it was all about sex, right?" So essentially, this love that I like, she was my best friend. I called her and told her everything. She knew everything about me, right? My best friend. The minute we had sex, I didn't know what to do because I didn't. What comes after that? That was like the whole purpose. Like I was working and working to get to this point, and now we had sex. But what was I supposed to do afterwards? I had no clue. No one taught me that, and I didn't ask those questions. I didn't have the knowledge to ask those questions. So eventually, I just broke up with her because I was like, okay, I guess that's what a relationship is like. But there's so much more to a relationship than just the intimacy. And at the time, I didn't know that, and so I ruined that first relationship, which she'd probably been my wife, and we probably had kids, and what I'm saying, had a whole bunch of I'd be a grandfather now because we was young, but that's neither here or there. We're gonna move on from the relationship ends, and now how does that relationship ending affect like your creativity and your music, like who you want to become, where you're going, how you move, like how does that like play a role in everything?
Man, I mean, I'm still not a perfect person. I'm still working on myself and still trying to navigate that. I still battle between wanting to be a certain person and then still having that other side of me also, that bad side of me. Um, but going forward, I do want to just be a lot more calmer. I do want to learn how to approach situations a lot differently, to be respectful to women. And as far as my creativity with my music, the music that I want to make, I want it to have substance in it. So when people listen to my music, it may help them or it may soothe them. You know what I'm saying? Or I'm actually talking about something. And now that I went through the experience that I went through, I'm able to learn from it, and I'm able to talk about, the different things that I felt, the different things that I experienced and that I went through. I can talk about it now. And also, I've been posting, content on TikTok, and I've been getting a lot of feedback from women and stuff like that. and they saying that they appreciate that I've been making changes in my life. Like I said, sometimes throughout the day, I'm thinking about wanting to be with this woman or wanting to be with that woman, but I'm just like, you know what, man, let me just lock in on myself. Let me focus on myself and get myself together because I can't make no mistakes. And going forward from that last relationship, I learned that it's real serious selection that I need to have, and I need to have high standards also. And I can't play around. I can't settle for anything because if I wanna have a strong lineage, I gotta first develop myself and develop a strong foundation for myself, and then whoever I end up with got to be on the same type of time, for sure. And they got to match me and meet me there. You know what I'm saying?
How old are you again?
23.
Man, those are some intelligent words from a 23-year-old. When I was 23, that's not what I was thinking, and I think I was on my way to having my second child, but I was not thinking in that type of capacity. So the development that you look at me today, and you see what you see, right? And I'll tell you that I'm still flawed by far, but you see something that you could say that you can inspire to be like. But when I was 23, I wasn't close to your maturity level. Understand that. So you've been through a lot, but you've also have learned to take those losses as lessons at an early age. See, I kept repeating the same mantra. Like I had the same song on replay. Like meet her, greet her, smash it,
Beat her.
then dash. Meet it, beat it, smash it. Like it was like this thing on repeat cycle. As soon as a woman told me she loved me, I was like, okay, it's time to move on. And then I would be trying to find my escape out this relationship. So I was good for like a year and a half, And then when I finally got, you were living with me for the first time when I met someone that actually deserved way more than I was giving them. Because I don't know if the other women but prior deserved more, right? But this one did. And when I realized that I already had messed up so much that I couldn't recover. Like I thought I recovered it, but she was like, "Nah, this dude ain't ready." And then she broke my heart, which made me move differently. But I wasn't wise in my selection moving forward because I settled. I like you saying about settling. Like I didn't think. I was like, okay, like you just can't turn anybody into a queen because if you're all damaged and that person hasn't done their work, and you have done your work, they're just gonna be pulling you in a direction you don't want to go, and it's gonna cause conflict. So I really like what you said. So some things. So if you were talking to like a younger you, like a 16-year-old you, a 17-year-old you, before all this happened, like they just about to get in relationships. And they said, I met this girl. Like, what advice, like what would you tell that person about relationships and how to move forward in that relationship?
I'm gonna be honest, man. Well, I'm gonna be honest. I don't even know, bro. I probably younger me. I would probably tell myself, man, don't get into no relationship, man. It's okay to like girls and talk to them. But as far as being with them, like seriously, honestly, I don't know. I'm kind of double dutching with it because I feel like at the end of the day, you need to see what it's like to be in a relationship. So I probably would tell myself, like, just be good there, respect her and stuff like that. That's probably all it would be. You know what I'm saying? If you like her, treat her well. That's probably what I would tell my younger self. And also, when I was probably around 15, like not eighth grade, but it was ninth grade, my freshman year, I had people telling me that I should only just have sex with girls. And that messed me up. So I would definitely not tell my younger self that. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't just be trying to talk to girls just to do that. Feel me? But if you like a girl, just be nice to her. You could like her.
Yeah, the road from recovery. Yes, I would never tell anyone, any man, any boy, any woman, just to have sex, because it devalues the intimacy. And when you devalue intimacy, what happens is it means nothing. Like I've had more nothingness, intimate relationships than I've had valuable relationships.
Why? Watch this. I'm gonna say this right quick. This came to mind, bruh. From me talking to women, bruh, I get more fulfillment out of having an actual intellectual conversation with them rather than laying with them. I get more fulfillment getting to know them. You know what I'm saying? And it's certain women that I've had conversations with, it's very refreshing to me, knowing that they think a certain kind of way and that they are developing themselves right now at my age also. I get more fulfillment from that, bro. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. But yeah.
I agree with you 100%. I've had throughout my life some amazing women that have been my friends, 100% platonic. And I felt like I had opportunities to like pursue more. I felt like they liked me, but I knew like in my, like I really believe when you deeply care about someone and you value them sometimes, you don't want to put yourself in that position until you're ready. And I never felt like I was ready during those times to put myself in front of these women that I value through time, through getting to spend time with them. Yeah, that's valuable. And that's like an old school method. Like back in the day, like before we were born, even myself, right? You know, you had to like go like knock on a girl's door, sit on the porch
It was a whole
and
process.
talk to them. Yeah, right, with their dad and mother watching. Like like everything was kind of like monitored to a degree where you were like, okay, like like there was way more accountability. Now with the internet and like a lot of times parents don't even know who their child's talking to. You know, it's just, and you don't know what type of person or people your boy or girl is around based on these cell phones, etc. All right, so what's your next steps to heal and grow? And you mentioned a little thing, but like, what's your main focus? Like, if you meet like the dopest girl ever, like tomorrow, like, how do you move forward with her in the appropriate manner so that you don't fumble it and go backwards?
Man, it's crazy because when we had went away, you was telling me to be friends with a woman, and I was just kind of like shooting it down, but I would literally do that, and I would get to know her on the surface, beyond the surface, um, figure out who she is, her norms of what she does throughout her daily life, uh, what her future aspirations are. Um, like I would want to know all of that, and I feel like I would have to really get to know who she is. I want to know who her family is, how she was raised, all of that. All of that is important. If she has this how she respects herself, how she dresses, all that stuff I pay attention to. I'm very observant from going forward. But yeah, I would sit down and get to know her, spend time with her, quality time with her. Uh, I'll probably throw in little jabs to see how she gets upset and how she deals with certain things. You know what I'm saying? Because when you meet someone, it's always going to be good in the beginning. You know what I'm saying? It's when things start getting a little spicy, and you know what I'm saying? Caliente, man, you might need some milk.
Yeah, we could all put on a show.
Yeah.
We could put on a show when like we live in a world where you don't know who and when and how someone is being real, like 100%. And I feel like everybody, every time I'm real with somebody, it's like they become the most phony. And then when people's real with me, I think I become the most phony.
Yeah.
It's so hard to find that balance of like two people being real with each other simultaneously,
Right,
because we all been hurt.
Right, but me and you know what that feel like. You a realist, and I'm a realist also. And when we around each other, we able to just be free minded. So I feel like with my last relationship, I wasn't able to be free minded. So I think that's something right there, that I need to actually take into my mind going forward when I'm dealing with people.
Yeah, it's like being like I've learned to accept my past. So like I have no problems telling people about like the stuff that I've done, right? And you know, and everything. And I think one of the things, like I'm 52, so I got a lot of experience in life. And one of the problems
there,
I'm OG, man. Don't let the long hair and not a lot of grays fool you.
You look 32, man.
But one of the problems is that there is so much information about me. I mean, there's unlimited information. There's biography upon biography because I've been through so many relationships and everything that if a woman meets me, they're not gonna like you can't get to know me in 6 months and think you're gonna know everything about me. And I've literally had situations where something to come up in a conversation, and then the woman to be mad at me because I just told them something that came up in a conversation. Oh, why didn't you tell me this before? It never came up. Like when you have unlimited data about yourself, like 30 years of relationships, that's a lot of information. How can someone tell you, like, how can I tell someone 30 years? Like, this ain't Chat GPT where I'm like, yo, give me a rundown of Martin Luther King's life. And it gives me the bullet points. Like, I'm getting to know somebody. Like, this, you're probably going to get to know me the rest of your life. Like, and that's for real, like, at this age. It's one thing to be 18 and 18 and you fall in love and then you and that person grow together. You only got 18 years behind you. I got 52 years behind me. That's a lot of information. So moving forward, like as you move in these relationships, like I believe that every time, like, and I'm sorry guys that been with Mad Woman because this I just feel this. Every time I've been with somebody, it's like they take a piece of my heart, right? And in all honesty, like I don't know how much heart I got left because a lot of people got pieces of it. This man, every time somebody taking a piece, and all these pieces and all. Now I got this little old beady heart, like a little tic tac, and that's my heart now, right? Trying to survive and trying to give all this love and all these expectations that it's unable to give because everybody got a piece of it. And then if I'm dating somebody 50 like me, maybe, hopefully they got married and their husband, they got divorced once, or maybe their husband died. That'd probably be even better, right? Because then they don't got yeah, I'm saying, I'm being real because if they got all the pieces gone that I got gone, we ain't gonna never mesh because we got so much traumas of relationships that everything gonna be like everything I do. She's gonna be like, ooh, my boyfriend back in 1962 did that. You know what I mean? It's just too much, and I think that's one of the reasons why I tend to date younger women because I be like, okay, they're gonna have less problems because they got a shorter lifespan. Right, but I don't even know if that worked. I'm gonna start looking for like women that are what do they call widows, right? Because a widow, right? Well, hopefully she had one husband and something bad happens, tragic, but she ain't got a whole bunch. That's just one piece of her heart gone, not 150.
Yeah, but passing away is crazy though, because it's like, dang, you gotta deal with that. You gotta deal with the grief of that. And when his birthday comes around, you want to celebrate it or something.
Yeah, I could deal with that. I think. I know what I can't. I don't know because I never been there.
He gonna pop up.
I actually did. I dated a girl whose husband died.
He gonna pop up in your dream.
Now I dated a woman and it was cool. It was somebody that I knew before her husband died, and I wasn't ready. We was gonna be in a relationship because I was not like we was in it for different things, but it was dope. You know, like always, I always appreciate, you know, spending time with you and talking to you and like watching you grow. It's like, you know, it's like when I watch, you know, my sons grow, you know, Brandon and Justice as they grow and they hit like these milestones all the time throughout life, right? Even when they mad at me, even when they're not talking, whatever the case may be, you know, each time they make progress is like, wow, like that's dope, you know, right? And so I can say that about you. Like, I'm proud to see your progress over from the 17-year-old that I met that moved in my house that thought I was corny and a weirdo, right? To the young man that you've become over the past few years. And though you have a long way to go, just like I have a long way to go, though you have a long way to go, though as I have a long way to go, it's amazing, and you should celebrate those steps. Like we celebrate the baby step, right? Oh my God. Like when you took your first step, your parents went crazy. Your grandparents were crazy. They wanted to show the whole world your step. And
Right.
all you did was move from one spot to the next. You didn't even make it to you, and then you fell. But oh my God, it's first step. And we celebrated, right? And then we get to a point in life where we stop celebrating progress.
Right.
But like no one's saying, someone good job. No one's saying you're doing good, sir. Like I love you and appreciate you. Like that is what people need. They need to celebrate those small little steps, and that gives encouragement to move forward. So it's a celebration within the agony of the relationship and the toxicity and the abuse and the mental and physical abuse and all of that. There's celebrations also.
So I got a question for for with your past 2 relationships, did you ever decide to make peace with those people, or were you able to? Let's
Yeah. Unfortunately, I tried in my own way. I'm gonna tell you what I did. I'm gonna tell you what I did. The 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 first one you met, right? Because we don't have to put no names. Some people might figure it out. So after it was done, right? Because I kind of got it back, and then it wasn't the same. And she let me know, like, I wish you was this way before. And when she said that to me, I knew it was over. I was like, okay, she's saying that she ain't falling for the okie doke, right? Once I realized it was over, and I had nothing to lose, I was 100% honest, and I told her everything, like any doubt she had, anything. Like I just wrote her, I think, an email and just told her everything. And I did that, and there was only one reason why I did that. I did that because I felt like if by miracle she was ever to come back around, she wouldn't have no more questions. If she forgave all of that, we could move forward, right? If she came back around. But if she came back around and she didn't know everything that she ever doubted, like, some of it she was untrue, but some of it has some validity. Like, and so it would never work because there's still doubt there. And I didn't want to reassure that. And it probably was like, I knew it. And I'm so happy it's over. That's the probably response that happened. But in my mind, I was like, okay, she knows everything now. I was 100% honest. And my next, and she deserved better. She deserved better. She wasn't perfect, but she deserved way more than I was able to give her, and that I did give her. And my next relationship, like it's still fairly new at the end. Like, it hasn't been a full year yet, since it's been over. I I don't think I will ever. I don't want to do that. Like I I feel just as betrayed as probably she does, if not more, because I felt like I put a lot in the relationship, both financially. Like, you remember when I started that relationship, I had no debt. I had no bills. I had no mortgage. Like, I was living like the life of like, I just chill. I just quit my job and chill. And I sacrificed a lot on one side of the table for that. And like nothing I did was ever appreciated. Like, you know, I was trying to be a king, and so I had somebody like trying to be a king. That was always whenever I would try to go against everything. Like, we couldn't organize anything together. It had to be conflict before we get there. And so, yeah, I'm not trying to. I don't want to make peace with that. I just want to move forward. Like, I've forgiven, but I'm like, I don't think I need to make peace.
Right. So I asked that because I actually recently reached out to her after 2 months of not speaking to her. I went cold turkey. Um, but I reached out to her because man, I just was feeling these wave of emotions of frustration, and I started feeling hate. Like I started to hate her because I would always reminisce about the things of like, like why did she do this, or why did she tell me this, why did she lie to me, um you know what I'm saying, and it was bothering me. So I reached out to her, just to have a conversation with her, and she basically told me like, don't ever contact me again, or I don't want nothing to do with you. And I told her, I said, I mean, I don't want anything to do with you either. I just want to have a conversation with you. Um, but I told her, I said, for closure for myself and you as well. You feel me? Like, let's come together and let's just talk about things that what happened, and where things went wrong. You know what I'm saying? And she didn't want to have a conversation with me, and she was just talking about what happened at the end. Oh, you did this to me, you did that. You still haven't apologized, but she still hasn't taken accountability for the stuff that she did to me that particular night. She did stuff to me when she was telling me how she's like, "Oh, I don't want to meet up with you." She's like, "I'm scared of you." I'm like, "Whoa, are you scared of me?" You know what I'm saying? I was like, "You know what? I'm not gonna go back and forth with you as if I was still with you." I said, "But I received closure because you showed me that I would have been conversing with a child today." And I told her, I said, "Thank you." And that right there, man, I was just like, dang. So I attempted to make peace, but she didn't want peace. She still had that anger and bitterness towards me. I guess because I ignored her for all that time. You know what I'm saying? But yeah,
Yeah. The one thing I think that you're never in control of how somebody responds to an apology, to your closure. You're not in control of that. You're in control of your intentions and you're in you. And that's it. So at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how she responded to it. Like, and that's not, it's out of your realm. And that's the best way I could put it for you. I've people respond to different people and different things in different ways, and what we think we did to somebody, they don't think, and it becomes this chaotic, um, ocean of just
it's like a game of Twister, man.
yeah, twister with all kind of different colors.
Like, you did this, you
So
did that. You
yeah,
know what I'm saying? It's crazy.
and people don't want to break it down. It's hard. Healing is hard, so we become turtles, and we think we're protecting ourselves by blocking stuff off, and then holding it in instead of letting it out, right? So then we become this full individual, not able to receive because we're just full of all these emotions that we never let go, never allow ourselves to heal, that we just covered up, got band-aids all over the place, but we didn't fix anything. And you know, this is gonna, like, I still think about my first girlfriend sometimes. Like, as human beings, like, people cross our mind. And at first I used to try, like, hate it, like, oh, I'm thinking about her, like, and then I started to learn that it's a part of me, and I have to embrace that part of me somehow.
First girlfriend into my 8th grade.
Eighth grade, yeah, she crosses my mind. Yeah, she
Now,
crosses my mind sometimes.
yeah, well, I'm not laughing at you like in a bad way, but like, I don't know, just being at it so long ago, the fact that you still think about it is like,
Yeah, because it's like you think about the thing. Like, I think about what I would value more than anything now. Let me tell you what I would value. So at 52, this is what I would value. I would value that in the last year or two ago, I would be having my 30th anniversary. To me, that's powerful. Like that's the most powerful thing that you can have. 30 years of a relationship of memories with somebody, good, bad, and different. Right? So to think about that, I gotta go back to like high school, college. So when I think of her, I said, man, imagine if I was capable, right? Because I believe that I've always been the problem in the relationships. Like, I've been the problem. Not to say that every woman deserved more than me, right? But what I'm saying is that I was not the man I should have been.
right,
That was probably most of them. That was the best man I ever been, was to that my first love that I pursued for 2 years and dated throughout high school. That was the best, because I never cheated on her. Never. I could. I just didn't. And when I started getting the urges to cheat, when I was like, when I was like, okay, maybe I don't want to be with this girl, and I already had lost my virginity before her, but it was like I don't know. I wasn't that wasn't the mentality I had at that point. I was like, no, I'm gonna break up with her because then I could do what I want to do, right? But then as I got older and in the relationships, I forgot the breaking up part, and I would just cheat in the relationship, which is, always break up before you start doing dirt, right? And I did that then, right? So I believe I was better. I was more of a man in 12th grade than I was in my younger relationships when I was, trying to be Mr. Player. If that makes sense to you.
Yeah, well, you mentioned that you was you treated her the best out of everybody.
Yeah, like as far as like the mentality, like I broke her heart, but she could never say nothing bad about me because I was honest and said I didn't want to be with you anymore. Instead of like gaslight. Well, here's all the new words: gaslight. Let's save all that dumb word. The dumb word. Just say instead of being dishonest, like I was honest, and honesty wins. Like you can hurt somebody with honesty, but they will respect you because you're honest. And that character flaw somewhere between alcohol, marijuana, college, just the honesty kind of went somewhere, just left me.
Yeah, I don't know. What you think that's from? Just you think that's from hurt?
Nah. I think the honesty was more so like
Or,
of
or running away from the consequences?
no doubt. Always thinking that maybe like okay, maybe she doing something, so I'm gonna get her before she get me.
Oh,
That type of stuff.
That's how you should think.
Yeah, the hood mentality. It's like a hood mentality. Like if I'm on the street and you looking at me and I'm looking at you, I ain't gonna let you hit me first, right? So I'm gonna make it, and then we can talk later. Like okay, but yeah. So yeah, we're gonna wrap up now. We can say we could talk all night. You know that. So
No.
let's end with this reflection. What from your experiences, and you talk about being a king, having a wife, and having children. How are you gonna talk to your children about relationships and love? That's a deep one, I know.
All right, so I'm gonna keep it brief.
But I'm gonna stop you. Ready? You don't say no. I'm changing. What are you gonna show your children about love?
All right, well,
when they see you and your wife together, what are your children gonna think?
Well, watch this. From my last relationship, I understand how important the verbal and the actual actions are important. So what I say and what I do is important. So as far as the action part, first of all, the relationship between me and my woman has to be healthy, like extremely healthy. Speaking to her in a certain way, being calm with her, loving her, in just certain ways where it's felt. Because you could look at a couple and you could look at a couple and especially during the honeymoon stage, like, yeah, they really love each other. So I wanted to be like that. I want my kids to see that, like physically see that. And you said how will I speak to them about love and stuff like that?
No, like show them. You don't have to say anything to them, but what are they gonna see?
Honestly, right now, I'm not too sure of what they're gonna see. I'm not right now. As of right now, I'm not too sure. That's something that I have to figure out.
Okay, that's a fair answer. I don't know. You glitching. I don't know. I hope it don't come on tape like that because you doing a robot right now, boy.
Says it's trying to reconnect.
Oh man, you got that? You got that? That Husky Wi-Fi? You got that government Wi-Fi? Yeah, you got that government Wi-Fi. I know you got it.
What about now? Good now?
Yeah, you kind of. I don't know. You got that Wi-Fi. You should have ran a hotspot from your phone. Now you're good. I see a little part in your hair.
I'm good now.
Well, folks, I don't know what you heard of that ending. Yeah, you good now, and we're gonna wrap up now. Once again, that's Chosen.
Yeah.
Even though he was frozen.
I was frozen.
He'll be back and listen to the song, and I'm gonna encourage him because sometimes he listens to me, you know, as a little cuz, and write a song called Demonic Cupid. I think that would be a powerful song, you know, Demonic Cupid. And once again, it's your host, Joaquin, with another Shades of a Man podcast. Make sure you like, subscribe, and pass this on, because, see, on this show, we really talk about the realness. And it's not fabricated stories. It's the truth, and it's the stuff that men need to talk about, men need to hear, and women need to understand and hear this too. You guys have a wonderful night. Yeah. See you soon.
Sometimes it might rain, sometimes it might snow, sometimes you might cry, be sad, you know. But that's shades of a man, baby. Shades of a man. Shades of a man. Sometimes you might stop, sometimes you might go. You might make mistakes, but that's just how you grow. Shades of a man, baby. Shades of a man. Shades of a man.